are live. No Chill Live 102, second episode
We back.
in the new studio. Man,
Oh
how you
man,
doing?
it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm feeling great. Um, how was the weekend, man? How was the weekend?
I had a nice weekend.
Yeah.
I was out in the city, out, celebrating my third anniversary with my girl.
Hey.
Went out to eat, had like a nice steak dinner. Went out to S&S bar. The DJs were killing it. All-Star game happened. It's February, mad events, but we're back with you guys today to discuss everything that's going on in the past week and more.
Exactly. There's been a lot going on. We had All-Star Weekend this past weekend. Don Lemon is back.
Back.
There's always news. There's
Always, bro.
news.
Yeah, man. What do you think about the All-Star game, bro? It was in Utah. Not the most, exciting state. Salt Lake City, not the most exciting city in the U.S. Not really. I mean, they do get rowdy for basketball, though.
That's true. That is true. I know a few people that have visited Utah, and they always have good things to say. Obviously beautiful scenery with the mountains and everything like that. Good skiing, all that nature stuff. All-Star Weekend was okay, in my opinion. I feel like the All-Star Weekend, the Pro Bowl, like all these different types of events, they've been on the decline for the last like 10 plus years at least. And NBA, NFL, I think they're trying to figure out how to make it cool again. And it's just they're struggling.
Yeah,
they're struggling.
Yeah, they did the split format. Had the team captains, had Giannis and LeBron. They did the draft live on TV, which I found a little bit confusing. I mean, Giannis was confused himself. He tried to pick John Morant as a reserve, and he was one of the starters.
He was like, "All right, for my first choice, Ja." They're like, "No, you have to take somebody else." And of course, he took my guy, Dame Lillard.
Yes,
the champ, the 3-point champion.
Yes,
he did what he does.
Yeah, man, he won. Julius Randle. I got on my Knicks shirt.
That's
Julius
right.
Randle participated. Right. They showed his son crying after he's only scored 13 points in the 3-point contest.
I mean, it's not for everybody. I think a lot of the people that they had in the 3-point contest, they're just not 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Tatum Tatum can do anything he wants on the court, but he's not really a 3-point shooter like that.
He can get hot, but yeah, not consistent. Like, when you think of, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Dame Lillard, these guys are automatic. So, Dame finally won, but, Steph didn't even play. So does this even count?
Of course it counts. I don't know if Dame did it all the ones that Steph won, if he competed all those same ones. Because I think Steph did it, 3 or 4 times, and Dame did it 3. Well, this was his 3rd, so... I mean, I think all of these different activities that they have for All-Star, it's like it would be way more entertaining if you actually have the All-Stars participating.
Yes.
And they don't want to do it.
Who doesn't want to do it? The All-Stars or the NBA?
I think the All-Stars, I think the NBA can't really force them to do it. Like they have prize money, but usually the prize money goes to their charities, that sort of thing. So I don't know what the NBA can do to make it more interesting. We were talking earlier, like Friday night used to be a requirement that everybody that's participating All-Star Weekend shows up starting Friday. Now that's not the case. You just show up whenever like your activity is. And I don't even know, aside from celebrity and I guess the World versus US game, what happened Friday.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all that happened. I don't know. I always end up missing like the Friday activities. Like I'm never really super into it. The Saturday stuff is always fun, but I missed it this year. But yeah, you were telling me some guy who's not even in the NBA ended up winning the dunk contest. What the fuck is that?
So what's his name? Matt McClung, some white boy. He was a viral sensation for quite a few years when he was in high school.
Okay.
For being able to do some pretty cool dunks. I think he went to Georgetown for a couple years, and then now he's in the G League. And I didn't know that they had opened up the dunk contest to G League players.
Yeah.
This was
I had
news
no
to me.
idea. I mean, it's news. Like, you were the one who told me. If it's
Yeah.
news to you, then it's double news to me.
It was news to me because the announcer said it, but he's wearing like his Sixers gear. He's not even wearing like he's never worn a Sixers jersey before before the dunk contest, and suddenly it's like, all right, this is my new outfit for this competition. He did great though. He did really well. I have to give the kid credit. He's only 6'2".
Wow.
And he was jumping through the roof. He did like a 540 or 720 sort of dunk to cap off the win, but he definitely came to dunk.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame the NBA would do that during Black History Month in Utah. Just pull a white boy off the street to come win the dunk contest. He's not even an NBA player. It's NBA All-Star Weekend. Like, okay, he's in the G League. Go dunk in the G League All-Star Weekend. Don't do that in the NBA. Not on Black History Month. But you did say he's 6'2". You're 6'3". Can you dunk like that?
Not at all. I could never dunk like that. I've maybe dunked twice in my whole life. So
Okay.
And I got the Timbs on today, so I'm definitely not dunking now. But yeah, it was pretty entertaining. It's just there were nobodies in the dunk contest. I feel like the only things that I remotely want to watch with All-Star Weekend anymore are 3-point contest and the game. And the game was even more disappointing than usual.
Yeah, so after the captains picked their teams, Giannis he scored a quick 2 points and got subbed out because he's hurt.
Yeah.
Then Bron ended up hurting himself at the end of the first half.
Mm-hmm.
But Jason Tatum, 55 points. He really showed out.
He went off.
There was no defense played at all. No. It was just a 3-point contest. It was boring. I wasn't even paying attention. Like, honestly, I just didn't care. There's no real incentive for them to play hard. There was some streaks of seeing some cool things like Jaylen Brown and Tatum kind of going back and forth. But I'm sorry, I really don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the game. I was over at Nat's house, and it was like the sequel to the 3-point contest at a certain point. Like, I think they definitely had more 3-pointers than they had 2-point shots. It was just like running up and down the court, seeing who could make a 3 first, or like a random alley-oop or a dunk or something like that. It was not competitive.
No,
not competitive.
Not competitive. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. But I really did enjoy the halftime show. They had all Afro Beats halftime show with Burna Boy, Tim's, and Rema.
Yep.
That shit was fire, man.
Yeah, the halftime show was really good. Before they had halftime, they had Post Malone come out. I think I can't remember if I told you or I messaged you, but I was like, why does he always look so dirty? Like, he just looks nasty every single time he goes out on the stage or he's out in public. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's the drugs, man. It's the drugs, the depression, the music industry. I mean, he did move to Utah, like, to get away from Hollywood because it was, taking a toll on him. He did look a little crazy on stage. I was relieved to know that he was not the halftime act because I thought that he was the way they were advertising it. I didn't know. I didn't see any commercials saying anything about Burna Boy or anyone else. No. But they made the right move, man. That was nice, man. RZA, he came out and addressed some comments from Lil Duval because Lil Duval tweeted out that Afro Beats is going to take over from hip hop eventually. And he also said that he thinks like podcasters are bigger than rappers in hip hop as well. And RZA pretty much, he said he understood where Duval was coming from on those 2 points, but he said Afro Beats is just like an extension of hip hop, and so is podcasting. Like, what's your take on that?
I'm surprised to hear little Duval say that. First off, I think Afrobeats right now, in the wave of like dance music and the way that the party scene is, there's definitely a melting pot when it comes to what the music landscape looks like. When you think of rap, R&B, rock, eh, jazz, like all the different genres are pretty popping right now in a lot of different ways. Like you go into New York City, obviously we're spoiled being in the Northeast,
Yeah.
but you can get anything that you want on any given night in terms of the music kind of
Yeah,
vibe.
super spoiled. I mean, that's not most places, especially in America. You know,
True.
you go to a lot of places, they still playing top 40 hits from 2012. Like, I don't want to hear Gundam Style. Like,
That is true.
and the bar closes at 1 a.m. Shout out to Delaware. Um,
Oh man, shots fired. But I think maybe hip hop and rap have taken a little bit of a step back over recent years, but I think it's still really popular.
yeah, I think it's still number one. I
Yeah.
don't think Afro beats is a offset of hip hop. I think it's its own thing. It's different.
Yeah.
And I remember, I remember when I first started. When I first started dating Abby, we were out in Jersey City and we were just getting to know each other. And I was like, "Oh, do you like Afro beats?" And she was just like, "Yeah, yeah." I used to go back because she went to college in Utah. She was like, "I used to go with my friend in Utah like all the time when I was in college." I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Applebee's," and I was like, "Not Afro beats." So now every time,
Oh man.
now every time I think of Afro beats, I think of Applebee's. Shout out for the free plug, Applebee's.
Exactly.
2 for 20,
Exactly.
still popping.
And
But
your ad could go here. Um,
just like they put the ad on the Russian
Oh,
invasion
man.
of the Ukraine, which
Exactly.
was like 1 year ago exactly, right?
Was it today? I know it's end of February that it's like
Yeah,
definitely a year ago. Maybe it
yeah.
was around this time. Jeez.
Because our president Joe Biden, he was out in Ukraine. He was in Kyiv. Did a surprise visit.
Yeah, he just randomly popped up. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'm sure they coordinated with Ukraine, but you just pop up at my country while I'm at war.
I think they wanted him to pop up. Like they want they want support. They want our money. I mean, you've been outspoken about all the money we've been sending to Ukraine.
Money, weapons, everything we send to them. Meanwhile,
Money, weapons.
all of our problems right here at home. Yes, bombs, absolutely big bombs, big bombs.
Oh man, I think the whole world was surprised to see him over there. And I know you're really surprised that this war is still going on a year later. I know you thought that it was going to end in like a month.
I thought this shit was going to be over like max 3 months. I thought Russia was taking it. Like I thought it was going to be a wrap, and here we are. Ukraine is battling. Russia's got like all their troops in Ukraine, and they can't make any headway. They can't make any ground. What's your prediction for it for the war? You think it's going to be over this year, or you think it's going to just continue on for the next 5 years or something?
I have no idea, man. I would hope it ends before 2024. I just don't want to hear about it during election year here. Like I just don't. But that's me, a selfish American.
Yeah.
I hope it ends because war is terrible. But in reality, like I don't know. I really have no idea. Like I just hope it doesn't escalate and they start, dropping nuclear weapons. I saw your boy Trump. He's on the campaign trail. He's running for president in 2024, and he said there's two N-words. One is nuclear, and the other one we all know, and neither should ever be used. But he said there's two N-words.
He said that?
Yes.
Why did I not hear this? I would have put this clip in here. Like,
yeah, this should definitely be. Yeah, we should have that clip. But no, he did say that.
I've been avoiding the news. I still have not really been paying attention to CNN and MSNBC and any of them. Honestly, I've been avoiding that shit. I did see that he announced. Nikki Haley announced. Who else announced?
Man, I haven't been keeping up.
There was one other person that that was like a Republican that announced. It seemed like they're trying to get out there early.
Yeah. Yeah, because Democrats really can't say anything because they don't know if Biden's going to run or not. He hasn't said. He still hasn't said.
No, he's running. He's running. Well, he's walking with a cane, but he's going to get to that election one way or another.
Yeah, but yeah, Nikki Haley did announce her candidacy, and I haven't been watching the news either. But Don Lemon, since CNN has their new president, they gave him a new morning show, and he had some comments about Nikki Haley because she was speaking about mental competency, talking about our president is like 80 years old and Trump is like 76, and that if you're above 75, like you should have like a mental competency check to make sure you're all there. And she was saying we need candidates who aren't past their prime, and Don Lemon said, well, she's a woman who's 51, and hate to break it to her, but women are past their prime once they're out of their 20s and 30s and maybe 40s. And the women anchors looked at him like crazy. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, don't ask me, Google it. Like, he was very like confident in it. He apologized multiple times, took some time off, took a few pods off.
Yep.
And he came back today. He came back today after tweeting out an apology. I don't think he said anything on the broadcast.
Back to work. No, yeah. He just said something about like I've been learning, I've been growing, I hear you.
Yes.
Let's get back to work. Let's get back to
yeah. So I think they said he's going to go to some type of sensitivity training. What do you think about that? Do you think it's enough? And what's up with CNN?
I mean,
I saw Don Lemon. He was at the Knicks-Nets game. I'm like, is this what they're doing now? I've never seen that before. Him and the CNN people. I don't know what they're doing. Is he trying to be more loose?
He was there as like a news reporter?
Yeah, like I guess because they're with TNT and stuff. Like they were on the court like beforehand.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. I'm like, they're doing all this like crossover stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was definitely a comment in poor taste. There were people asking for him to be like suspended indefinitely, lose his job. I feel like that's a bit excessive. Like, he made a mistake. He didn't say he didn't call her out her name. He didn't do nothing crazy like that. Like, did he talk about her being past her prime in a negative sense, talking about like women and the things that biologically happen to them? Yeah, he did. Did it have anything to do with her capability to be a president? No, it did not. But shit happens. Shit happens.
I mean, yeah, he was pretty adamant about what he was trying to say. He didn't want to elaborate. He just said, Google it. Everybody knows it. Women are dried up. No one cares about them. It's just like, whoa, what does this have to do with being president? Just because you can't menstruate? Is that what he was trying to say? I'm not sure.
He can't menstruate either. So what?
Yeah, that's very true. But I mean, I do think it was super sexist.
No, it was. That's undeniable. That is undeniable. All right, we can all agree on that.
Like, I don't know why he felt like he could just say some shit like that, but hey, he believed it. I think he wanted to put it on Google.
I feel like the words came out of his mouth, and he saw his co-host's face, and he was like, "That's it. Like, I'm not going to elaborate on it. I said what I said," and he immediately knew that he had fucked up.
Yeah. I don't know if he knew that he fucked up, because he seemed like he just didn't want to argue with them because they're just women and they're past their prime. They're not worth him talking to. That's the sense I got. But hey, he's back, and hopefully he'll be more respectful for women over 50.
Hopefully.
But I thought it was a little funny. CNN, they haven't been the same since they fired Chris Cuomo, and he said, he was going to sue CNN. He does have an open lawsuit against CNN. I think like $150 million he's suing them for.
He does.
Since then, the president of CNN, he had to step down because, it came out that he was having an affair with a staffer. So they have a new president. Mm-hmm. And Chris Cuomo, he has a new job. Nobody watches his show, but he's still working. He's still working. And in a podcast, he admitted that he wanted to kill everyone and then himself after that CNN firing, and he had to move on. What do you think about him being this open? You know, we talked about the Cuomo brothers a lot.
I mean, listen, he has a platform. He's clearly, we talked about this before, whether or not he was going to make a comeback and what the timing was going to look like for that. He's clearly angling for that. Same with his brother. I think, he's got to say things to get people to talk about him. That's kind of just what it is. He needs the attention. He needs the clickbait sort of stuff so that he can get viewers, so that he can end up, what is he, back on some random news show or something
Is it like
that.
Newsmax or something? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so
something I've never watched before. They said only over 100,000 viewers watched his Kanye interview last year, which he thought was going to be like a big deal, and even that, nobody cared.
Yeah, only 100,000 for a Kanye interview. That's pretty poor.
News Nation is the network he's on now. But yeah, what do you think about him saying he wanted to kill everybody and then himself? And he also kind of referenced being Italian and being a very passionate person. I know, you're part Italian. Do you ever feel that bitter and vengeful? And would you blame it on that side of yourself?
Listen, I might have more reason to be bitter and vengeful about being Italian. And no, I don't feel that way. Like I would want to kill myself. This guy's, I'm telling you, it's clickbait. He just wants people's attention, their sympathy. He wants them to be like, oh, poor Chris. I can't believe this happened to him. Well, let's watch his show. That's all it is. But he's making Italians look bad. They're way stronger than that.
I don't know. No. I think he's being very honest in his feelings, and the lawsuit is for $125 million. I don't know if he'll end up seeing any of that money.
He might see 25.
But I think that they screwed him over because the president was in cahoots with his brother too. He was honest with the network about him helping his brother out. And then they used that as a reason why to fire him. I don't think that that's right. So I think he has a case.
Yeah, I definitely think there's some shady stuff that went on, both on his side as well as CNN's side. But he's trying to battle against a major company, a major media company. It's going to be an uphill battle. If he can get something, I'm sure they'll reach a settlement. But it's not going to be 125. That's a lot.
Yeah. I think they should have paid out his contract. If they're going to let him go. Yeah. But they said we don't have to do that. And then he said I'm going to blow everything up. But he's moved on now. Yeah. I don't know if we'll hear from his brother. He's been pretty quiet lately.
He has been a little bit quiet, but I mean, let Biden open that door for some Democratic nominees. You're definitely going to hear Cuomo's name. Definitely.
That's a bold prediction.
I think so. I think you'll hear it. Even if it's just early on, he's going to try something. He hasn't reached the 85-year-old limit on running for public office. You know how we do things here.
The new limit. That's crazy. Master P, he was he started the record label No Limit Records, but now he's looking for a statute of limitations for talking shit after being disgruntled. Do you think that's hypocritical? Like, can you start No Limit Records and then ask for a limit of people talking shit about you?
I get it though. People hold grudges for a long time, especially in music industry. I mean, look at Mace. He's looking for money from Diddy from like 20 years ago. Like, I understand that people feel like they got some raw deals back in the day. But when the deal is done, it's done.
It is what it is, yeah.
I don't know how you can try to seek reparations or something. I mean, clearly black people have been seeking reparations forever. We haven't gotten it yet. So I don't think these music artists are going to be any closer either. Yeah.
Happy Black History Month, guys. We're all for reparations.
Absolutely.
On NoChillLive.
And California is the leading state in that effort. But yes. I don't know. With Master P, I think he probably takes it personal.
Is that what the P's for?
Yes, that's exactly what it's for. I definitely think he takes it personally though. When people talk bad about you, especially when you're a public figure like him, he's been in the game for what 40 years.
Mm.
Like it's got to get on your nerves because you've done so much for the culture, so much for hip hop, so much for individual artists. Like it's probably tough to hear negative things about you, and nobody's perfect, but
Yeah, he said, that's what I call ungratefulness. If you moved on 10, 15, or 20 years after me, why are you talking about me? I forgot about y'all for real. I'm the only thing y'all can talk about. It should be law. After 7 years, you shouldn't be allowed to go on no podcast and talk about nobody. Think about it. It's a
damn.
statute of limitations. If you ain't been around that person over 7 years, please, you don't deserve to talk about them. 7 years, man. How you feel about that? Do you feel the same way, like in your personal life? Like if you haven't seen someone in X amount of time, they should never like mention you or the past.
Uh, I don't know about that. It depends. I think, if it's just um, if it's like a person has a personal vendetta or your name comes up all the time and you're hearing it through the grapevine where like, oh, so and so is talking smack about you. I haven't talked to this person in a decade.
Mm.
And it's crazy that we're old enough where we can even say that now, but that's beside the point. Um, if I haven't talked to you in that long, it's like, let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. I mean, I've clearly let it go. I don't care.
Word.
Like that long ago is way too long for me to put energy in, thought, like all that kind of negative vibes is no, no.
But if it's on a podcast, if you're in the spotlight, it's a little bit different because it's
True.
like next time you do media things, it's like, oh, what do you think about so and so? They said this about you.
Yeah.
It is a little bit different when you're famous. I think in my personal life, I I don't talk about the past a lot, like
Yeah.
unless it's someone like I'm having fond memories with or bonding with. I'm not about like gossip or like blaming other people for things. Like I feel like even my old jobs where I had problems at
Mm,
before, like I'm still grateful for those experiences. Like I know it even if I went through hardship and stuff, I still had the opportunity to make a better life for myself today. So I do understand what he says when he says, they're out ungrateful, but it is funny that he's asking for a limit when he started No Limit Records. That's the only thing I could focus on.
yeah. I mean, from a business standpoint, anytime there's money involved, that always makes things worse. I feel like,
mm,
especially when things end negatively. If it's positive, it's always up and up.
mm,
Like if it's negative, then people are gonna hold grudges for a lot more time because people take money to heart.
yeah, I mean inflation. We talk about it every week.
Inflated feelings.
Yeah, no, for real, man. Yo, your boy Alec Baldwin, he got one of his charges dropped, and he's moving his production of Rust to Montana. So the reduced charge, they dropped the 5-year gun enhancement charge.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a win for him. Um, I'm starting to feel like he's not going to see any jail time.
They're slowly trying to find a way to just like drop things, like prolong things. We see this all the time with the rich whites. Like it's just this has been going on for a couple of years now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
2021
yeah,
is when the incident occurred, the tragedy. But yeah, he's continuing to shoot it. I think they're starting up in the spring, and they're moving to Montana, a different state, since that state is trying to put criminal charges on him.
yeah, that makes sense.
Are
I
you
mean,
you still gonna watch this when it drops?
I want to watch it. I don't know if it's ever gonna come out though. Like
Mm,
it's taking so long. I feel like if I was working on this film, like if I was an actor, actress, director, camera person, I'd be like, I'm trying to find another gig. Like I don't want to do this shit anymore.
yeah,
There's just so much like death, drama, attention on it. I'm sure the movie's not going to be great. I haven't seen Alec Baldwin's previous works, but I don't have high expectations.
You've never seen any of his movies?
No, I'm saying in terms of like him
Production?
directing. Yeah,
Oh.
him directing and producing a movie. I don't think I've seen any of his stuff. So is this like his first foray into being a producer? It's going pretty shitty right now.
So
It's like about as bad as it can go.
Like the worst, like really, really bad. But hey, he's pushing forward. He's using that white privilege as much as he can.
Yeah. Are there movies that you like from Alec Baldwin? Off the top of your head, if you can't think of any, it's fine.
No, there's this Woody Allen movie called Blue Jasmine that's really good.
Okay.
Definitely recommend that one. He was good on 30 Rock. That's always
true. He was good on 30 Rock, yeah.
Funny on SNL.
The Departed was really good.
The Departed, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some good movies. He's been around forever.
Yeah, he has been around a very long time. He's been okay in some of them. He's also in like the Mission Impossible movies.
Okay.
Which are, Mission Impossible. And who else was he? That's all I can remember right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, The Departed was the best one. But
yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I can't believe we're still talking about that. But hey, justice has not been served yet.
Montana. I haven't heard the name of the state Montana in quite a while, actually.
Yeah.
Aside from when you just mentioned it.
Yeah, it's very looked over. Like there's really nothing there. Wasn't the spy balloon over Montana, or was that a different state?
I think it was a different state. Wasn't it over
Wyoming?
One of the Dakotas? Either Wyoming or one of the Dakotas.
All those states are like the same to me. I don't care.
I mean, listen, when I was RVing with my parents back in the day, we made it to like North Dakota in the RV before it got tired in the mountains. It was like, this altitude is too serious, but it's beautiful out there. Like the mountains are really gorgeous. Other than that, it's a lot of open highway.
Gotcha.
A lot of real open highway.
Yeah, I'm good off of that. Shout out to the RV people. Brian never let us use his RV, but it's okay.
Listen, it wasn't mine to let you use. Shout out to Jimmy Spears, my pops. He wanted me to take the driving course, and then COVID happened, and I was like, oh man,
that did happen. Damn, it's almost 3 years since like lockdown.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple weeks. Yeah, yo, you sent me a story or on an Instagram story a few days ago of your boy Chris Brown complaining that people still hate him for beating up Rihanna, and he went on a rampage. He says he has time today. He was asking a lot of questions. He said he's 33. He's sick of running with this narrative. He's like, why is everyone okay with, Christiane Rock and Blueface beating the fuck out of each other in front of the world? Mm-hmm. But, when it comes to me, like, no one can forgive me for making a mistake when I was 17 years old. He then went on to list and a bunch of white actors and celebrities who have had, domestic abuse allegations and charges and have been arrested. Some were new to me. You sent this to me and I was just like, man, typical Chris Brown. Like, he can never get it right. Like, he just doesn't know how to handle situations properly. And he's not going to earn any new fans by this. But what did you take from it, bro?
Listen, he might not earn any new fans, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to list all these people that he named, all these white people. Sean Penn, Mel Gibson, Nicolas Cage, Ozzy Osbourne, Tommy Lee, Emma Roberts, Carmen Electra, and Josh Brolin. And he named a few more, too. He named a few more. So all these people that everyone likes to see in movies and on the red carpet and stuff, please be aware they have domestic violence charges in their history. And
you are snitching. And
I don't care.
And also, I just want to say, Chris Brown, like he mentioned Emma Roberts. And I just want to say, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Emma Roberts? I did not know. I did not know. Congrats.
Man, yeah, like that's between us. Relax.
Gotcha.
No, but that was a wild list. I know Tommy Lee like responded because he's a fellow piece of shit musician. He used to beat the shit out of his. You would think these guys would be like friends, but no.
Poor Pamela. Have you watched that show?
Nah.
Natalie fucking loves it. I watched an episode. It was okay. It was pretty good. I thought the casting was good, but yeah, I like Chris Brown. I think for his fan base, when I saw it, I was like, "You go, Chris. Let him know they holding you hostage for something 14 years ago, like 15 years ago, like
something horrific."
Yeah, absolutely. It was terrible. I mean, listen, I hate seeing the pictures of what he did to Rihanna because it's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. But at the same time, how long do you have to pay for a mistake or a crime or doing something terrible?
That's true. That's a fair question. We just saw Karl Malone up on stage with LeBron and Kareem. Only person missing was the child he had with a 13-year-old who was just in the Super Bowl last week.
Yeah.
But Karl Malone still celebrated. No one's really mad at him. He says, that's my personal life. That's my personal business. So some people do get forgiven.
Karl Malone told that kid when they came and found him, yo, you're going to have to get it from the mud. It's too late for me to help you out. Like, you got to do it yourself.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I mean, isn't Karl Malone a Republican? I mean, that's goes hand in hand.
He's a lot of things. He's
the mailman.
He's also like top 5 on the all-time scoring list.
Top 3. That's why he was up there with them too.
Yep.
Top 3.
Yeah.
And he was in Utah. So, but yeah, all is forgiven. No one, said nothing to him. Maybe it's because he's like, 6'9" and 300 pounds of pure muscle. I mean, who's gonna say anything to him?
I will say, at his age, he looked really scary. But it was funny how they had him on the stage just away from everything. Like he was off in the corner by himself, so far away from the camera, you could barely tell it was him if you didn't know. Yeah. Like, they clearly wanted him there, but not really.
Word.
Yeah.
Yo, can I get your charger?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm about to die.
Look at that. Technical difficulty saved. Chargers ready.
Yeah, man. Black History Month, Chris Brown, one of our great black artists. Not one of my favorite, but he's done a lot. I'm not going to disrespect him. I do see him as an emotional ass artist.
Of course.
So that's why he goes on these rants and stuff, because he's a sensitive guy, but I don't think it's helpful for anybody. But, also making Black history is Da Brat. She's pregnant at 48 years old. She was the first female rapper to go platinum, and now she's the first female rapper to get pregnant at 48. Her and her wife are expecting a child. Mm-hmm. Now I think she got like some like embryo transplant to get impregnated. But this was shocking news to me, and I think to everybody else, not only because she's in a relationship with a woman, and she's kind of, she's the more butch one. You wouldn't expect her to be carrying a baby, but also she's 48 years old.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this picture of her, it's I can't tell what decade she's in. It looks like early 2000s, but then her wife is like pretty modern. She's got pianos on her. I don't know. But she's 48 years old. Shout out to women having babies close to almost being past their prime. Specifically, shout out to my mom. She was 46 when she had me.
Ooh,
yes,
that's legendary there.
Yeah, miracle baby over here. But this is pretty crazy. This is pretty crazy. It's not easy growing up in a household, let alone having two parents that have the same sex. Because I feel like, and maybe I'm going out on a limb here and it's going to break, but I just feel like if it was two fathers in a household or two women in a household, that's like a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
I would have to assume.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I wish them the best of luck. I'm sure they're going to be really happy. She's got Chicago Bulls all over her shirt, and you know, shout out to the brat.
Yeah, shout out to the Brat, legendary rapper. You know, she has her show, I think on like We TV, one of those networks. So they're going to be documenting this.
The whole pregnancy, and like,
Yeah.
oh
So she
wow.
has a reality show with like her family and everything. But yeah, you think with technology that this type of thing is going to become more common?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think the people are so much more open now with regards to sexuality, and just doing what makes you happy. Marriage is like at an all-time low,
Mm.
and the longevity of marriages is also at an all-time low. Like it's just people are going to continue to move through life in a way that's a little bit more free, I think.
Interesting. I mean, yeah,
And
you can take your time with technology. You can get pregnant at a later time.
yeah,
You can freeze your sperm. There's a bunch of pathways to having kids or having a surrogate. But but yeah, before I read like how they said they have an anonymous donor. I was like,
yeah.
who got the brat pregnant? Like, who got her pregnant?
I wondered the
And was
same
she
thing.
like was she wearing boots during the sex? Like,
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
did she keep the fitted on when he was impregnating her? I didn't know, but they said no. We have an anonymous donor.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about the anonymous donor? I feel like that would freak me out. Like, I get the sperm donor ads on Instagram, and I'm like, I feel so disrespected. I'm like, I'm not selling my sperm. I don't want my sperm to just be out there, like my kids to be, and some random people. And if I was having a kid, to have like some random eggs or sperm to be half of them, I'd be concerned.
I mean, I've thought about that before too. Like early 20s, I was a little low on money. Shit was tight, but I was it's like, how much can you get for this? How much for a nut? Like, and then I read all the different things you had to do. I was like, oh no, this ain't worth it.
What did you have to do?
I think it was like, you can't ejaculate for like ever unless it's like for that exact purpose of like ejaculating in the cup so that you can give it to the sperm bank, and you have to go like every other week. You have to get tested for STIs and stuff like very regularly. There's some other stuff that you had to do too, but it was like it becomes a lifestyle almost. Gotcha. If you're going to be a sperm donor.
A lifestyle
No,
of nutting, getting paid for nuts.
You can get paid pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely get paid pretty well. It's just you have to change your life around a bit. And yeah, no, that wouldn't work for me. That would not work. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, having just your sperm out there, kids growing up, and then with like ancestry DNA and all, like I'm on ancestry DNA, so those kids are gonna pop up and they're gonna come to me like Carl Malone's kid came to him and have their hand out at some point.
Yep.
And I'm like, listen, I don't know you.
Exactly.
I was in my 20s. I needed money for pizza. I didn't think this far ahead.
Needed money for pizza.
Oh God, hell
God.
no.
You better call Domino's. Like,
yeah.
But I wonder if you're the brat and her wife. Like, okay, so you're gonna get an anonymous donor. How does that work? Do you go to like the facility and they have like is it like how you're looking for a job but it's trying to be like more conscious, so you have the resume but you don't have the name at the top? Is it like that where you see like, oh, this person was over 6 foot, they had this type of ethnic background, they currently do this as a job, they got this on their like SAT, like how does that?
Yeah, and people be lying too. Like,
Yeah.
how do you even trust? Like, who's fact checking this? Like,
But I would have to assume for celebrities they have a more thorough process.
bro,
Like,
I don't know.
If I'm a celebrity and I'm about to pay thousands of dollars for like in vitro or something, this better be Michael Jordan's kid. Like, it better fucking be.
I was wondering what you were gonna say. This better be some top tier sperm. This better be the good shit.
This better be some grade A leche, man.
He's like, no, this is no good.
You put water in here.
It's watered down sperm. Get this out of here. Oh God, I could smell the diabetes in the sperm. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
Shout out to the brat and everybody out there, having kids, but that might change soon because they're saying the holy grail of male birth control is on the way, man. We talked about this last year. You told me birth control for men was coming out.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it. I was just like, no way. It still hasn't come out yet. It's still not available, but there's more details on it. This shit is going to be on demand birth control for men. You take it 30 minutes to an hour before you have sex, and it lasts up to 3 hours. And it pretty much makes your sperm like just go to sleep. They don't move. And then after 24 hours, they're back to normal. So it gives you a nice window to bust nuts that, got some lazy ass sperm in them. What do you think about this, man? If this works, like, do you think this is gonna be huge? Do you think a lot of people are gonna use it?
I think if it works, absolutely. That sounds like a miracle drug or something. But my thing is, how do we trust doctors to make male contraceptives that work that specifically? You take it 30 minutes before, it works for 3 hours, and then you're good. And you're going to be able to, reproduce after that. But we don't trust COVID. We don't trust the COVID vaccine. But we'll take that pill that could possibly sterilize your ass. No, I don't believe it.
Who knows? I mean, they say the COVID vaccine could sterilize you. I don't even like talking about this because now everything we do is going to get flagged.
Is it really sterilized? Oh, you're right, because we brought up COVID.
Yeah, so you can't talk about that.
Yeah, they're going to put the disclaimer on here. Oh, well.
But no, I mean, I feel like since it's only like it's not a daily pill. It's like something you take right beforehand. So I feel like I would be more comfortable trying it out, knowing I don't have to do this every day.
I get that. I just need more information. Like, how long was the testing for this? How many people did you test it on? I would not like. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to not just get a condom? Because you're still risking. You would have to be doing this with someone that you're like in somewhat of a committed relationship.
Of course.
You can't just have raw sex with anybody now because you took the little male contraceptive pill. Now, if they said it worked against STIs too, that shit is going to be more popular than any drug known to man. But
I mean, they have it for HIV.
That's true.
They have the preventative pills for HIV, but that's something you have to take daily.
Yeah.
You see the commercials for that too. It's crazy out there. But I do hope that this is a real thing. I think it will, give power back to men. I mean, you can get
power back to men.
Yeah, give power back to men when it comes to childbearing.
Is it back to men, or is it really giving power to women? Because now it's like, no, I don't need to take birth control. You can take birth control.
Yeah.
Turning the tables.
That's good. Yeah. The power is in the person who's going to take the pill. So now men can be like, oh, I took it. And
lie.
Why
did that never even cross my mind? Why did I even think about
you just be trusting women, like.
No, I'm talking about for men to do that.
Oh, because who would do that? Men don't usually do things like that. But there are people who do it. Like, they have terms for it. Like,
of course.
What
do they call it? Ghost?
I don't know. Shout out to Joe Budden. He talked about it in his podcast.
He did.
But yeah, like, I think this if this comes out, I don't know how it's going to change. I mean, people talk about the birth rate going down, but I'm like, the Earth's population is like going to be like 9 billion like soon. Like, it's growing crazy, like at a crazy rate.
Like 8 billion right now, right?
Yeah, and I think when we were kids, it was like maybe 5 or 6 billion people. It's almost doubled in our lifetime. So I'm not worried about humanity. I feel like there's enough of us here. But yes, I'm gonna try this out because I want to know that I'm good. You know what I mean? I want to have a kid when I want to have a kid, and hopefully this doesn't like make zombie children.
Let us know in the comments if you would actually take male contraceptive pills, or if you would make, your partner, if he's a male, take the pill. We definitely want to know.
Yeah, this could be available. Women should be able to carry these pills too. Be like, oh, take this. Drop it in a guy's drink.
Wait a second. No, we're not dropping it in a guy's drink. But I will say it's going to be very similar to Plan B. It's going to be like, yo, take this pill.
Yeah. This is going to be called Plan A.
Let me watch you take it. Let me see.
I think this is going to revolutionize sex. Birth control in the 60s really changed, sex for women, really liberated them. I think this will liberate men in a similar way. It's going to be a lot cheaper than child support. So, hey, there's a lot of benefits to this. Hopefully it does work and there's not a lot of side effects.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But
you taking the male contraceptive pill then?
I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a try and I'll report back to the live to see if there's any babies.
Back 3 weeks later, like, well, got one on the way.
Oh my God. It's crazy, bro. But yeah, we talk about snitching, like you snitched on Emma Roberts and all those other white actors. But snitching has been a theme of this show. We've been talking about it for years.
We have.
But Boosie, another one of our favorite people, he was supposed to do a collab album with our guy T.I., and then he went on DJ Vlad's YouTube channel and pretty much told us the project is off.
Yeah.
And he said it's because T.I. went on his podcast and said that he snitched on his dead cousin.
Yeah, he did. Let's take some time and listen to this clip real quickly.
Situation. If he did that, you're a fucking rat too. I don't spare no motherfucking body. Because if you doing anything wrong, you doing anything criminal wise, and you cooperate with law enforcement to get you out of trouble, that means you're cooperating. That means you're a rat. But I'm gonna tell you like this: when I saw that, I think T.I. fucking lying. I think he went up there and just got the fucking talking. You think something happened at 18 years old, right? You gonna hold how vocal he is. I've been around this. You gonna hold that in all them damn time. All this damn.
It's just so funny to me. He's really saying this on Vlad TV.
Shame.
For real. Like he's just trying to shame T.I.
Shame.
He didn't even tell him this man to man. T.I. actually put up on Instagram that his feelings were hurt a little bit by this. He said, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
But T.I. did say those comments on that podcast.
He did. Let's listen to what T.I. originally said.
Yeah.
Pull us over. I have a gun. Why are we going through the court process? And so we caught those gun cases. Two died. And, my lawyer said, well, I can make everything go away if it was Tramel's. After he had passed, I had a talk with him.
What to say?
She said, I take all the charges you got. If you can walk away free and put it on me, goddamn right.
So is that what boys giving you shit about because you put it on?
No, hell no.
Okay.
No. Don't nobody even know about that. I just volunteered. Don't nobody even know about that. I'm just being honest.
Snitching on
That's
himself.
the only time
For snitching.
I never said or gave no information about nobody because that's my cousin, my big cousin. He was
Your
dead,
own family.
and he told me that it was okay.
Oh my God! Nobody told T.I. that it was okay, other than his lawyer. He was like, "Yo, your cousin died. We can put this on him. We can put this whole thing on him, and you're gonna get off scot-free."
Yeah, I mean, he said his dead cousin told him it was okay. We don't know how his dead cousin told him that, but also we do have to mention that T.I., he's been trying to be a comedian for the last couple of years. He got booed off the Barclays stage. Maybe this is his attempt at being funny. He was laughing. I don't know. Maybe it was a joke. I mean, it seems too specific to be a joke.
You trying to make excuses for T.I. right now. When he was talking about it, he paused a couple times too many. And that made me feel like, nah, he's really telling the truth, and he's trying to figure out a way to say it so it doesn't sound terrible.
Yeah. You know, and also I think you're right because that shit was way funnier than any of his jokes that he's ever told.
He got booed off the stage. T.I. getting booed off the stage is like 5 years ago would have been unthinkable.
I'm not gonna co-sign that, but I know what you mean.
You might be right just because of the craziness with him and his wife and like
yeah. I could always see reasons to boo T.I. I feel like he just I don't be liking his choice of words. Like, you know, he be like he read the thesaurus too many times when he was locked up, and it's just like, bro, relax. He's way worse than Stephen A. Smith because I don't even think T.I. like knows what he's saying. He tries to sound like mad articulate, but he just sounds dumb or trying to use big words.
He got Shakespeare as his score on that one test, and it went straight to his head. It went straight to his head.
Well, what do you think about this? Are you upset that we're not getting a T.I. and Boosie album because of this? Do you think Boosie's right in being upset and being like, nah, I draw the line, that's snitching? Like, if you're a street person, would you side with Boosie in this?
I mean, listen, I like T.I. a lot, but his last good album, or album that I at least listened to, was 10 years ago. It was in 2012 with Trouble Man. So
that album was terrible.
Yeah, and it wasn't good. That's the thing. Like it was worth listening to because we thought, okay, T.I.'s about to make a resurgence. It's been in a few years since he had a project. He was dropping every couple of years for a while, but that was pretty much it. Like after he came out with that, it was like, all right, we're done with T.I.'s music. I feel like he didn't have the longevity that we kind of thought he might as a rapper. Like you think about Ludacris, it was kind of the same thing, but Luda was like heavy in the movies.
Yeah,
heavy in the movies. Like he made the full jump into being an actor. T.I., he like dabbled a little bit, but it didn't really work out with the movie scene.
Yeah,
and
well, I wouldn't say it didn't work out. He definitely slowed down. Like he was in some big movies, and
he was.
He also had a lot of legal trouble, which led to him snitching on his dead cousin. Apparently, I don't know. But you know, I'm not really looking for new music from either of these gentlemen. They do make me laugh when we do have topics about them, though, because they do find ways to stay relevant and in the news. Yo, what do you think about rappers going on podcasts and just telling these stories? Like, is it taken away from hip hop? Like, you know, you've been asking about like who is Jay Prince, and now like every month he's on a podcast like saying some shit that, you know, I thought he was a behind the scenes guy.
I thought he was like mob ties, but now he's like media ties.
He's like Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
You better chill out. This is going to too many platforms right now. Houston is going to hear this.
Houston, we have a problem here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on who the rapper is. Some of them, when they go on these platforms and they do interviews, like I listened to a Jeezy interview. I've listened to, you know, some of the artists that have been on Joe Budden's podcast, on Rory and Maul's podcast. Some of those conversations are good because they're introspective. They're people who have taken the time to clearly look at their past, think about decisions they made, how they could have improved, and they've grown. Like you can see how people have changed by the way that they talk about their past actions versus, you know, you talk to some people and it's just them snitching on themselves, or it just comes off as like so showboaty and like puffed up, and it's just, it's not what I'm trying to listen to.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting in a weird space of media and content in general. And it's kind of weird to see like these kind of older rappers who kind of came up on a certain code. Like now they're trying to fit in with the younger, trendy people trying to get clout. It's just not, it doesn't come across the same way.
Genuine. Yeah, not genuine.
Yeah, and it doesn't come across as cool at all. Yeah. But hey, everyone's trying to adapt and stay relevant. I mean, you got Bad Bunny out here going on dates with Kendall Jenner. Talk about relevancy right there.
I
Is that the
mean,
new power couple in Hollywood?
it might be. I mean, listen, what wasn't powerful is the way that they tried to sneak in and out of that restaurant that they were at. It seemed like they did a double date with Justin and his wife.
Yeah, Haley Bieber,
Yeah, it just
who's also Alec Baldwin's niece.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So many
Hollywood.
entanglements and things. It's nasty. It's nasty. But I just hope he's careful.
Why?
I hope Bad Bunny is careful. We've seen way too many men just get felled by the Kardashian Jenner sort of curse thing. It's just not. It's not great. So I hope he's smart. I hope he's just having a good time. I mean, he's the hottest artist in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he really likes her. I don't know. I don't know.
Were you surprised when you heard this? Like I was a little bit shocked, but I feel like Bad Bunny. We saw him at the Grammys. We saw him taking selfies with Taylor Swift, hanging out with all Beyonce, Lizzo, like all these A-list people. I feel like he opened up the show in LA. I feel like he's Hollywood now. I feel like
he's on a different stage at this point. Like he is clearly A-list already.
Yeah.
And it happened in a matter of just a few years.
Yeah. And
don't fuck up the music, man. Don't do it.
I don't know. Like, I feel like even like Kanye and Travis, like their music did not falter at all. In fact, I feel like Travis, his stock went up when he was dating Kylie. I mean, He had a billionaire baby mom, and he had a roller coaster on his tour. He wouldn't have had that without Kylie. Sometimes having that extra status, that extra billionaire who you're dating or having kids with or marrying could really uplift you. And I think for Kendall, she's more the low key of the Kardashian Jenners.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny's known for being low key, so I don't know how much we'll hear about this. I mean, I'm sure we'll see her pop up at Coachella in a couple months.
Yeah.
But I do find it funny. She was dating Devin Booker before this, and Ben Simmons before him. She's been dating ballers, so now she's trying to switch it up with the musicians.
Yeah.
And they're all like the same color. Like they're all like the same like off-white beige color.
Light skin.
Like super light skin.
We could have had a shot. But how old is she? Is she like 24?
I don't know how old Kendall Jenner is.
Let me look it up. What I will say in response, though, is yes, the music did not take a big hit. She's 27. She's not that far off from us. But the music didn't take a hit. However, we saw how Astroworld ended up. We saw how Kanye ended up. We saw how Chris Humphries ended up. We saw like that. Do I need to go on?
Caitlyn Jenner, Kendall's mom, dad,
mom.
So, no, mom, dad,
girl, mom, dad.
I don't know. I think they still call Caitlyn Jenner dad. No, they do, because it's like, that's their dad. That's what they know her as. They don't call her mom because it's just weird. But that's why I said that. But yeah, they do have a strange history, and they do, suck all the swag out of all the guys. They suck all the swag and all the sperm from all the talented guys around them, and they find a way to stay relevant.
Yeah. I mean, what are the chances he gets her pregnant? I say 75%. If they stay together over 3 months, 75%.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, hey, when you're with a girl who's like worth like millions of dollars, that's the one time you don't need that birth control. That's when you fake it. That's when you like, yeah, I took it, baby. Don't worry. I got you. And then 9 months later, new baby.
I mean, listen, she's been operating as like a supermodel. She's got a business career and investments and things like that. It's not like she's the ugly duckling or anything when it comes to the Kardashian Jenner sort of crew.
Mm-hmm.
She's just, I think, a little bit more low key. Maybe that works for the two of them, like you were saying. Like he's low key too. I'm interested to see how this develops.
Yeah, me too. People, are showing a bunch of funny clips of people like struggling to speak Spanish because, Bad Bunny, he speaks Spanish. He's from Puerto Rico. You think there's going to be a communication barrier? I mean, Kendall's from California. They speak a lot of Spanish over there. I'm sure Bad Bunny, they speak a lot of English in Puerto Rico. I'm sure there's enough for them to talk.
He can get by. Like, I'm sure that's not going to be the problem. If anything, I would imagine with celebrities of that status, it's more like, how do we find time to spend together because we have so many other things going on?
Yeah.
How do we dodge the paparazzi? How do we
how do we call the paparazzi? They be calling them. They be like, yo, we're at this restaurant. Yeah, we're going to be sneaking out on this time. Like, make sure you get those pictures.
Yeah,
100%.
That's true. I will say her security, they got to purchase bigger umbrellas. The umbrella they had, it was like some little pop out umbrella. I'm like, yo, you need the big poncho like umbrella.
It doesn't rain in Southern California.
No, but he wasn't using it for the rain. He was using it to block the paparazzi so they couldn't get pictures of her. And I'm like, this umbrella is 2 feet big.
Because they're full of shit, bro. They're pretending to not want to be seen. That's the part of it. 100%.
It's all a lie.
It's all a
facade.
It's all fake, bro. It's all a facade, man. Speaking of pale power couples, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, they were spoofed on South Park. They did a whole episode. They didn't name them. They said that they were the Prince and Princess of Canada, but the characters look just like Meghan and Harry. And then, report came out that Meghan was overwhelmed and hurt and upset, and they were thinking about suing. But as soon as that report came out, a counter report came out that said, they don't care. They find it boring. They're not going to sue. They just think it's not funny, but they're not. They're downplaying it. But people found it funny. I didn't even know South Park was still on until this.
But actually, now that you mention it, I think HBO Max has like the episodes. That's where they're being put on.
Oh, okay.
On HBO Max. But I haven't seen this episode. I just saw like all the different clips and stuff. It was hilarious to me because it makes so much sense. It makes complete sense. Like, oh no, please stop looking at us. But they're in a public park or they're on a private jet getting off and on. Like they clearly want the attention, but don't want it at the same time.
Yeah, in the episode, they flee Canada. And they come to America. They go to South Park because they're just fighting for their own privacy. But the whole episode, they're like carrying signs like saying, "We want our privacy. We want our privacy." And like they like letting off fireworks like all night saying, "Leave us alone." Because they want attention. I found it funny too. They had their Netflix documentary that came out. I've never felt bad for them. I don't feel bad for royalty, but I always want to shout out Meghan Markle for making Black history and destroying the royal family. Shout out to her.
That's right. Good job, Meghan. I mean, listen, the Queen, she was not going anywhere for so long. I thought she would never die. And Meghan got it done for us.
Yeah. Shout out to Meghan. I'm not putting that body on her, but... But I did find the episode funny. Hopefully they learn to laugh at themselves. I mean, I don't know. I don't like hearing from them at all. Like, there's nothing of substance I think I can gain from either one of them. And I'm tired of hearing the same things from them. It's just like, okay, stop crying.
Yeah. The woe is me stuff gets old, but I do still like Meghan.
Of course you do.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, speaking of queens, this man says he's the king because in chess, the king doesn't barely moves, but he has his 3 queens out working full-time jobs for him while he sits at home, and he calls himself a trophy husband. We talked about this man last year when he had 2 wives, but now
we did.
Now he has a third on the show Finding a Sister Wife on TLC. This man has 3 different wives in his family, and he has them do all the work and cooking and cleaning for him. They all sleep in the same bed, but they make sure to be separate when he has sex with all of them individually. Now,
amazing.
Yeah, I thought this was Black history. It's funny because I saw this article pop up, and I was just talking to Abigail about this. and we watched we watched the first couple episodes of this past season from last year yesterday, and I was just like, damn, like I almost regretted turning it on because she was like, why, when they were explaining their situation and talking about like the benefits and everything, she was like, I was like watching and nodding my head. She's like, why are you nodding your head so hard in agreement? And I'm like,
looking at him like, this man is a visionary. Nick Davis.
I'm just like nodding my head like that's great for them. Like that makes sense. She's like, why are you agree with that? I'm like, listen, whatever makes people happy. This man seems very happy.
Listen, as a black man, I can definitely understand wanting to insulate yourself to protect yourself from society by having 3 white women who are your wives, sending them out into the world to go work and, hunt and gather and all that sort of stuff, and then come back home. I'll keep the home ready for you. I'll take care of everything. It's no big deal. And I'll keep y'all satisfied.
Yes. They said he is a lot to handle. His first wife, she said she's been with him since college, and she recruited the second wife who was 19 at the time. They worked together. And so she got her into the throuple, and now they became a family of 4 with the third wife. And they all work, and he sits at home doing research. Now, in the show, they had came back home from work, and they were cooking, and he comes to the kitchen to tell them what he's been researching, and he just starts talking about quantum physics and all this other shit that he had read. And they're like, oh wow, like they're like really impressed by this guy. So I think it's a good situation for everyone involved, because anyone who will fall for that bullshit, I mean, this is probably the best situation.
I mean, listen, when it comes to some of these love topics, all you can say is, as long as it works for them, I'm happy for them. I think that this is probably a dream come true for him. And you got to create the life that you want. You only got one life to live, so you might as well, do the best you can to create happiness. I mean, this guy is 39 years old. He's got one of his wives is 25. The other one is like 22. And then the first one is 38.
The OG.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. So he got 3 generations.
His wife, the first wife though, she's been putting in work. She's just been collecting them for him.
Yeah.
She's definitely like they got something crazy going on in that house.
Oh man, I can only imagine how that bed smells, man. I'm sure it's terrible.
They got to change the sheets every day.
Well, they got a full team for it, so I'm sure
that's his job. That's his job. He stays at home. He got to take care of the house.
Bro, he don't have a job, man. He said the king don't do nothing, but they'll move it all on the board.
They're probably going to start an OnlyFans, and that shit is going through the roof.
Ew, no, please.
I guarantee it. I'm telling you. It's going to go crazy.
Yeah, shout out to him making Black history.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see this at the bottom. They just welcomed their first child together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congrats to them. Another family.
June of last year. But Nick also has another son who's a teenager from a previous relationship.
Wow. He's, being a dad. He's a busy guy.
Yeah.
And holding it down as a husband to 3 different women.
Listen, if you're interested in polyamorous relationships, let us know in the comments. We might be able to help you out, find something, I don't know.
I'm not making any promises on that. Actually, I have nothing to say beyond that. But but a dating coach on TikTok did have some advice for women of like 5 bare minimum traits to demand in men. Now I read these, and honestly, I wanted to talk about this just to make us feel good about ourselves, because this is really...
They talking about bare minimum. This is like minimum wage.
The 5 bare minimum things are, make sure he picks up the phone. The man you are dating should be good with his phone. Okay. Make a date. The boyfriend in question should take you on a date at least once a week unless you are in a long distance relationship. Be supportive. Your partner should be your biggest cheerleader. share schedules. Your significant other should be open about their schedules so the couple can actually plan your life together. And then finally, show love. A mature lover knows how to show affection. Now, sir, you're in a relationship, been in one for years. Do you follow these 5 basic traits?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty easy. The one thing that I will say is, a date every single week. If you view like doing something nice together every week as a date, then absolutely. But some people don't view it that way. Some people think a date has to be like this grand gesture or like something that's specifically announced as, hey, we're going to have date night or we're going to go on a date to X.
What's your definition of a date?
To me, a date could be me being home and making dinner, and us watching a movie together or something. Yeah. It could be something casual like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be going outside or to wherever. Obviously, those are nice, but shit ain't cheap out here.
Nah, inflation is real.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like this is like very, very easy to accomplish, and it's crazy that someone actually got traction off TikTok from listing these things out. Like, he's a dating coach. I could be a fucking dating coach. Like, oh, answer your phone. Like, show love. Like, these are just obvious things. Like, I feel like if you're not getting this from the person you're with, then why are you in a relationship? Just be by yourself. Like, if you're like, I was surprised, but maybe, we're just the best, like boyfriends ever.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. We're really good partners for our ladies. And, I think that also you might be surprised just how many people have never had a positive example of what a relationship is supposed to look like.
No, that's a good point.
So maybe they haven't seen this before from either their parents or other people that are close to them. But I don't know. It seems pretty basic to me.
They're learning off TikTok. Like, they're learning off TikTok. It is pretty sad. But hey, I feel like I learned more through my experiences. And yeah, having examples around me is definitely helpful. Kind of like how to, be a man in a relationship or just kind of play my role. Yeah. And also what to expect from somebody else in a partner.
Out of these 5 things, is there anything that you think that you could do better?
What? Don't you?
No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking because I know for me, the one thing I would say that I could probably do better is maybe being more affectionate, like showing love. Like sometimes I'm not all with the lovey-dovey stuff.
Gotcha.
Other times I am, but that's definitely something I know from my partner. She really likes that. So I could definitely be better at that, but. I don't know. If you don't want to share, it's okay.
I'm not even gonna lie. I clicked out of the link. I forgot what the list was, but I feel like I do. I feel like I do everything.
That's a cop out.
What's the 5? No, name them for me, please.
Pick up the phone, make a date, be supportive, share schedules, show love.
Oh man, I feel like I do all of that. That's why I picked this article. I really do. Like, I show a lot of love. I'm very affectionate. I'm always planning dates. I'm always sharing my schedule because I'm super plan oriented. I mean, picking up the phone, I don't really talk on the phone that much, but I'll always like respond to messages. Sometimes, maybe I'm not gonna say I should have to work on that at all, but sometimes it could be annoying. Like, my girl will like hit me up on multiple apps at the same time, and I'm like, I'm not gonna keep up 3 different conversations. I'm gonna kill off like multiple of these. So we all have our limits, but even Master P has limits. We found out today. But yeah, like, people are looking for they don't know how to date, especially with COVID. It kind of really screwed people up. Mm-hmm. We have an article about a man trying to go on a date and pull a girl on LinkedIn. This man trying to use LinkedIn as a dating app. He reached out to this girl, Hannah, and goes, "Hey, Hannah, skipping the line on a dating app and coming straight to you. Aggressive move. I know. Life's too short not to go for what I'm highly interested in. Happy to connect regardless of your openness to meet. Kindest regards.
No, and just to clarify, he didn't say I know. He put IK. Like, signing off after that with kind regards is wild though. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's very LinkedIn in the structure of the message,
Yeah.
which kind of makes me think that he's been copying and pasting this to like multiple people. But also it's just strange. Like I don't know, like LinkedIn's a weird place. I never was on LinkedIn and felt like horny, but I have like seen connections who have, oh, this girl is really cute, like in her little picture. But a lot of time I'm not gonna jump in and try to talk to her because that's like my professional domain.
Exactly.
And also you can't even really tell, like you can see that little picture, you go on the profile, they see you went on their profile. It's just like, I'm not trying to breach. I need boundaries myself, personally, because we have so many spaces that we can communicate with people, and like we need some spaces that are like designated for being professional. And I couldn't get with nobody on LinkedIn. Sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't do that either. I think that I mean, for me, I'm a recruiter, so I'm on LinkedIn all the time. There's definitely been cases where I'm searching like a certain kind of profile for a role I'm working on, and I'll see somebody and I'm like, oh wow, they look cute. But I'm also looking at their profile for a reason. Like I need to see if you're a good match for this job. If you're not, next, bitch. Like I don't care what you look like. I'm trying to get this role filled. So I just it's a bold strategy. I wouldn't do it.
Do you think it works?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to when you ask that question, I'm trying to think if it would work for me. Like if somebody tried to slide in my DMs, am I going to be like, oh, yeah, sure, hit me up at like my phone number?
Yeah,
I don't.
I feel like for men, like we be open if it looks something. It's like, all right, sure, we'll see how far this goes.
I mean, she'd have to be bad, but
the pic. I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, she would, but you don't know what you're dealing with. Like, you know, we've been on dating apps in the past, and we've entertained things that were, you know, bots or like catfishes and other things. Like, we don't know, but LinkedIn seems a little bit more legit.
It does.
I'd be hard pressed to find a woman like, you know, shooting her shot on LinkedIn. I feel like it's definitely more of a man thing to do. I'm sure it works sometimes though, because this guy wouldn't be doing it if it didn't work. He probably has a good job. It's probably like, this is, you know, someone knows I'm legit. Maybe. So, you know, a way to flex your muscles.
I feel like it's just like taboo. Like when it comes to the workplace and like trying to approach people and stuff, it's already something that's like a little bit icky, like nasty and stuff. Like definitely advised against due to HR protocols or whatever. So like, I think to do that on LinkedIn, it's a bold strategy. It's definitely bold.
Yeah. I'm sure this guy has gotten some wins. I'm not sure if he got with this girl. Some people in the comments were saying, this is gross. Like, he really came on LinkedIn. Other people were like, this is a red flag. Other people were like, oh, I wouldn't be able to resist this. I love it. So, you know.
Wouldn't be able to resist this? I love it.
Listen,
that person is, you know who that sounds like? It sounds like a 32-year-old that's never been kissed. That's who it sounds like.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. How do you go 32 years, you know, of your life and never kiss nobody, man? This woman, she said she you know, she's a 32-year-old virgin. Yeah, she's never even kissed anyone until recently, till after this article was written. She said that she was pretty much, it was easy for her to like get around the questions of dating for years, and she just focused on her career and traveling, and she just wasn't focused on men. She just thought her Prince Charming was just gonna pop up, I don't know, out of osmosis.
But for me, I don't understand it, because I'm like, how did you get to 32 and nobody ever approached you? Or was she just like stiffing everybody? Like, there's no way, like, you're out with your girls, no, leave me alone. Like, in her pictures, she looks like a nice lady. Like, she looks fun. She's got pictures like in the mountains after hiking and like dressed up and stuff. Like they made this article look like her dating profile to try to help her out.
I think that's kind of why she put herself out here. She's trying to find a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said she was focusing on her career and traveling. I don't see how that gets in the way of dating. I definitely think it is weird. She wants to normalize being a late bloomer, as she calls it. You know, she's not a bad looking girl. She did say that when she did go on her first date, she said she was on and off dating apps, but she finally went on a date with a guy. She said she was terrified of the first date, and she's saying, I have confidence from the sound of music for the entire drive to the date. And once she said that, I was like, I totally understand why she is a 32-year-old virgin. She really sang to herself show tunes on the way to the first date. Can you imagine how the date went?
She was probably just like repeating lyrics back to him in response to like his questions.
Bro,
how was your
terrible. Like, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, hopefully she finds love. You're pro virgin though. You know, and when I looked at this girl, I was like, she might be Brian's type of girl. Like, you like, curly hair girls.
Listen, I only have one type of girl, and she's already got me. So that's what my response is to that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But you have argued for virgins in the past.
Of course.
You said if a woman wants to respect her body for a certain amount of time, you see no problem with that. When it gets to the point of being 32 and you haven't even kissed anybody.
Yeah, I think this is a case of I would love to know what her childhood was like and if she has like some sort of social like interaction disorders or something like that. Because I just don't see how, like, again, we already said she's not a bad looking woman. I don't see how you get to 32 without ever being approached or like at least going on a date once. Like, that's I can only assume that she was scared of men.
Yeah, I think there's something deeper.
Yeah, deeper,
to
darker. Like, I don't know. I don't know, but it's definitely not. It doesn't sound like we have the full story.
No, but hey, best of luck to her.
Yeah.
Hopefully, she finds her guy. If anyone's out there is interested in this woman, shoot her a message.
Yeah.
She likes show tunes. Maybe you'll get a shot.
Show tunes.
Yeah, but it is tough, man.
It
is tough
to
out there.
cabaret, but you don't go on a date.
Oh man, yeah. I think it's kind of like swimming. Like if you don't learn how to swim by a certain time, it only gets harder and harder. And I feel like if you don't put yourself out there, it's only going to get weirder and weirder. And the conversation, okay, I'm 25 and I feel weird and I'm going to be judged. It's going to be way worse when you're 30. And you have to explain that. So you need to be with someone who's understanding, and and it's cool with it.
She's got to find a fellow nerd.
Yeah,
they're out there.
Yeah, they're in Disney World crying with their ears. But it's hard out there, man. I also saw an article of this woman who got fat fished by a guy.
Yes.
She asked if she was allowed to call him out for being heavier than his pictures. Now, this is the first time I've seen like an article with the word fat fish in the headline. And it's something I used like last year when this happened to me. I went out with a girl and she was like way bigger than I thought. And I knew it was gonna be like risky because her pictures were, her full body ones were like far away.
She was working them angles.
The angles in the mirrors, like a curvy kind of mirror. Because she was a curvy girl. And also we were talking because we have both had pictures in Iceland. But her picture in Iceland was next to an iceberg. And of course she looked small next to a goddamn iceberg.
Yo.
Like, I should have known. Regardless, I remember I was telling this story to some friends and someone said, "Oh, fat fish, that's so mean." And I'm like, I wish you were there with me, bro, because I know you would have had my back. Because I'm like, it's not mean. It's what happened to me. And I was nice to the girl. Like, we still like, had a drink and talked for like over an hour and then went home. Like, but I was really respectful. I found, a way to enjoy my time. I wasn't going to be like, you look way fatter. Because people, when they go out on dates, I know it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
You're on
But
a roll. You are on a roll right now.
but like honestly, people are deceptive with their dating profiles, and they have to know. And this woman, she wanted to know if it was okay for her to be upset, and she got some mixed feedback.
I mean, listen, I think she's an attractive young lady. The picture that they have linked for this guy in another article, yeah, he clearly photoshopped the hell out of his picture. The Photoshop, it also looks like he has boobs, but I don't know. It would have been a red flag for me, I feel like, if I was a girl. But I think this is just a case of like, sometimes you lose. Like you have to give it a shot if you're on a dating app. Like you're there for a reason because you want to meet people, you want to go on dates, you want to try to find love or whatever other reason that you're on there. And this is going to happen. You're going to go out on dates with people and they're going to be bigger than you thought they were.
Yeah.
It's happened to me before too. So
it is
chalk it up to the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wonder how those people like it is for them to, constantly show up on dates and like see the other person disappointed. Like, like, is it worth it? I don't know.
I feel like that's got to be a big letdown for them too, because they're in a way they're psyching themselves out. They're hyping themselves up for this great experience. Like, oh, I got a date. Like, I'm gonna go meet this person. They're gonna really like me. And then you're 50 pounds heavier than what they thought you were gonna be, and it's like you started this on a lie.
Yeah.
I can't start a relationship or build a foundation for a relationship if you're already lying to me before we even meet each other. Like,
yeah. It's just
setting
like
yourself up for failure.
Exactly. It's just like, our first date would have been at the gym if I would have known. And I probably would have showed up. Just trying to get you on the right track. But
imagine. I wonder if I'm sure there's someone that's tried that, like doing a first date at the gym.
I'm sure.
Probably people that met at the gym though.
Oh, sure. I mean, I don't know now. Now all the videos are, people being harassed at the gym. Like, oh, like I only came here
harassment.
to work.
That's not harassment.
I came here and to wear my tights and bend over in front of the mirror and make TikToks, and this guy just keeps looking at me. And now I'm gonna zoom in on him and post a TikTok and get more sympathy. It's weird. I'm so glad I don't go to the gym anymore. I mean, it's just I think everything's turning into doing it for social media, and everything's just so strange. I don't know.
I mean, listen, everybody wants attention. Everybody wants to flaunt what they've got, whether it's jewelry, money, cars, hot bodies, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about this last week, but we talked about it a few weeks ago. The show MILF Manor. It's on TLC. It's another freak show on TLC where these 50 and 40-year-old women are on an island dating their sons.
I need that charger too.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
Have you watched any of it?
I still have not watched any episodes. I don't plan on watching it. It's nasty. It's nasty. They have a house full of these cougars and their sons, and they're trying to date the other cougars' sons while their son is also trying to date cougars. Like, it's a nasty.
Yeah. I did watch the first episode, and it did make me feel like I can usually like laugh at reality TV shows, but this one just made me feel deeply uncomfortable, especially when I saw the clip of the second episode where they were telling secrets, and the one mom told the secret about having sex with her son's best friend. He was devastated. That man ended up like totally wasted, naked in the pool, like was speaking gibberish.
Oh, I didn't know all that happened afterwards. I thought he was lying when you told me about it. Like his attitude about it. I thought he was faking like he already knew. No,
he just didn't know how to take it. I mean, he's like 20 years old, but he got wasted after the fact. So you knew, he couldn't fake that. She was like, come on, like come back in the house. And he was like, no. He was like swimming around, had no clothes on, and was totally trashed. How did this even make it on TV? It sounds like a spoof.
I don't know. It's crazy, but I just saw an article that one of the most recent episodes, the competition was for the guys to perform oral sex on a mannequin.
Oh my god, I'm so glad I stopped watching that show.
Yeah.
It should be banned.
Yeah.
That's too much. I don't even understand. That makes me deeply uncomfortable. But yeah, if anyone's watching MILF Manor, let us know.
Listen to the quote from this guy's mom. Seeing my son demonstrate his skill set, he's very much like a professor.
Oh, that's disgusting.
What kind of compliment is that?
That's nasty. I don't know if it's nastier for the sons or the moms, but I don't know. As a son, I feel like it's worse for the sons. Like I can't. These moms should be ashamed of themselves.
Nah, the person that should be ashamed is whoever made up the fucking idea for the show and whoever greenlit it. Because this is crazy. I mean, they had to know that, oh, this is nasty enough where we can put it on TV and it'll also play. But it's sick. I wonder if it makes it past the first season.
I don't think so, but hey, there's crazier things out there. We got Power Slap out there. This guy got suspended for 9 months for testing positive for cocaine after Power Slap. Now, I just figured they were all on cocaine. Like,
when you told me this, I thought that I thought it was just the powder from the smacking. Like, you got to put that powder on so you get a good grip on the smack. Like, you got to rub it together and then bang.
You gotta numb
got
it
up
up.
His nose. That's all.
It's insane, man. I don't know where TV's going. I don't know where. Maybe that's something the NBA All-Star Weekend can incorporate. I don't know. To make things more fun. Oh yeah, I just wanted to shout out Brittany Griner. She's back, signed with the Phoenix Mercury. She signed for she took a pay cut though.
Of course.
She could have been maxed out at 200,000. But
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
They said the supermax was like 200,000 something, but she had to take 100,000. But she's back, playing ball. As we said, she comes back. She needs to ball out.
You said the supermax is 200 grand.
Yeah, it's like 250 grand, something like that.
Yo. How is the NBA Supermax 250 million and WNBA is 250 grand?
Listen, we celebrating Brittany Griner and her return to basketball. Brittany Griner is back. What do you expect from her this season? She's 32, probably at the end of her career, last few years. Do you think she balls out after everything she went through? And do you think that the WNBA gets more support since, that was a national story?
I mean, I think she's probably going to be similar to maybe her last couple of years. She was averaging around 17 points a game. A couple of years back, 8 rebounds, something like that. So I would assume that she'll be able to get ramped back up, and she's probably been eating well now that she's back in the States. Like I'm sure she's going to be able to succeed and play well. It looks like her contract was 1 year for $165,000.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. I don't know if it's worth the Merchant of Death, but hey, we got. I'm glad she's home. I'm not gonna watch any WNBA games this year, but I might start watching MLS games. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
When does the season start? Do you know?
Next week.
MLS? Oh wow, already.
Yeah, first Red Bulls game, because I get ads for it. It's tickets for March 4th. For the opener.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Maybe I'll go. I don't know. I said that every year the last 10 years, and I have never watched the MLS. But
I'd be down to go to a Red Bulls game or something.
Word.
Let me know.
That'd be great. Yeah, right by the PATH station.
Exactly. Super close.
I'm down. 2023, we on different time, Also, it's Pisces season, so shout out to all the Pisces out there. Last week was Aquarius, but now we emotional.
Yeah, we should go to a WNBA game too.
Why?
Because the tickets are super cheap.
I'd rather go to a Nets game. They're cheaper.
Over here, Women's History Month is coming up in March.
Yeah, it's not now. It's Black History Month. And you're going to the Nas concert on Friday, bro.
That's right.
You
That's
excited?
Right. I'm really excited. It's one of those things where you buy the tickets way in advance and you forget that you have the tickets. And when you're reminded, it's like, oh, snap. I need to binge listen to all 3 of these King's Disease albums over the next 2 days.
Gotta do your homework.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. It should be really good. I just realized earlier when we were talking about it that this is like one-time show, one night only in New York City.
Okay.
It should be lit.
He's definitely going to have some guest appearances too.
He's going to have to. But either way, I think it's going to be my only time ever like specifically going to a Nas concert. I've seen him before at Def Jam, but
he don't tour a lot.
No, he doesn't. No. I think the last one was with Lauryn Hill, and that was like a little bit of a fiasco. So,
yeah.
This should be good though. I'm really looking forward to it. These albums are some of his best. It was like his resurgence. Honestly.
Yeah. Shout out to Nas. I know it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to be at Industry Link downtown.
That's
at
right.
The DL.
Shout out to Joe.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe. You know, the memo is to wear all black. I missed that email, but Jenna had let me know. So
that is good to know.
Yeah.
That is good to know. Definitely let's stay in touch so we can link up afterwards if we're still out.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna be out and about. Yeah, man. You sent me speaking of Lauryn Hill, you sent me the Roots picnic lineup. How you feeling about that?
I think the tickets pre-sale went out today. I did not buy them yet. And I still am not completely sure if I will, but the lineup looks good. They're going to have Chappelle Friday and then, officially kind of start the Roots picnic on Saturday and Sunday, similar to last year. Lineup is pretty solid. They've got Uzi, they've got Diddy and the Roots, Black Thought, of course, the staple, Division, Busta Rhymes, Ari Lennox, DJ Drama. There's a bunch of people that are going to be there.
That's dope.
Yeah, it should be a really nice lineup. So, I don't know. I'm interested in the show. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
They have a whole podcast stage. So next year, 2024, NoChillLive, we're gonna try to be there.
Yeah, exactly, man. They really do have a whole podcast stage. I stopped by it last year. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. It wasn't anything too crazy. Smaller crowds than previous times we went to the podcast stage, but it was cool.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know about the whole live podcast thing, but they have a lot of podcasts coming this time around. It seems like their lineup gets bigger every time.
Yeah, I feel like for a live podcast, you probably have to do a lot of planning to just keep it interactive. Like you've got people there. You don't want to have like a captive audience and not utilize them. Which definitely adds a unique challenge because for a podcast or a live like this, it's not like we have to worry about who's here.
Yeah.
It'd be dope if we had like a background party or something like that. But again, we wouldn't have to entertain them necessarily.
Exactly.
So just something different to think about.
Yeah. I mean, we do have, we are live streaming, so we do have comments and stuff.
Of course.
But it's not the same as actually having physical people here, having to interact with, people talking and speaking and be an MC at the same time.
Yeah.
But I would definitely love to do that one day. And last week went to see Michael Che, City Winery.
Yeah.
Shout out to Genzino. She gave me a gift certificate, so I was able to use it.
How was it?
It was deja vu.
It was similar to
it was the same
closing.
shit, yo.
He was drunk and everything?
Yes, he was. He was a little tipsy for sure. City Winery, so he had his wine.
Of course.
Same two of the openers were the same.
Oh, okay.
The girl who was hosting last time, she was on.
I can't remember.
She still wasn't funny. But the one dude who writes for SNL, his name is Alex. He was there. He had some new jokes. He was good.
Okay.
Michael was funny too. He has a little bit of new stuff, mostly old stuff. And then they just were chilling at the end of the show. They brought Questlove up on stage because they were talking about therapy.
That's a nice surprise.
No, it wasn't that nice because
Questlove is going to be at the Roots picnic.
Of course, he's in the Roots. Like he coordinates the Roots picnic. So that's what I'm saying. Like we so close to everything.
Yeah.
But no, because they were talking about therapy, and Questlove was in the audience, and he was saying how he just learned how to cry like a couple years ago, and then they're like, "Oh, come up and tell us," and he was like, "I don't want to ruin the show," and then they ask him like, "Oh, like what helped you or whatever," and he's just starts talking about like generational trauma from slavery and all this other shit. I'm like, I know it's Black History
Heavy,
Month,
heavy.
and he said it, he heavy, yeah, Questlove's heavy. He said it. He was like, I'm not trying to ruin the show, but he did. But I could have been like, yo, like, what's up with the podcast stage? He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be in proximity to all these people. So, and also, to be able to see Michael Che again was a good time, even though we heard the jokes like a month or two ago. But yeah, man, lots going on, man. COVID is over, Joe Biden said.
COVID is over. 400.
400.
We have a game night on Saturday.
Oh yeah,
going over to Hogger's spot.
Yeah,
that should be lit.
We got a lot coming up, man. A lot of Pisces birthdays. Shout out to James' birthday's tomorrow. Troy's birthday.
James.
It's coming up next week. Then Jenna's on the 15th.
Exactly.
Shout out to
yours is like what, a month away now?
Yeah, 24th. My birthday's actually on a Friday.
Hey.
For once. Yeah, birthday's on a Friday.
That's right. It's only taken like 6 years since the last time it was on a Friday or something.
No, for real. But I have no plans. I don't even feel like doing anything. I was just telling my mom today, like, if I do something, it'll probably be like a week or two before I'll decide.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be just like, just go somewhere. But I don't feel like it, and especially we have so many other fun events coming up the next few weeks.
It's going to be busy.
Yeah, I don't feel like I have to plan something myself.
Listen, we got to celebrate life. It's going to be 32 years for you.
We don't disclose that.
Listen, we're way younger than we seem to be.
No, yeah, 32, man. It doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, I'm grateful to be alive.
It means everything. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's just like, who cares about that number? 32.
Listen, Shaq did great things in 32.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I should be more appreciative of it, but I don't know if I feel like it. I don't have the energy. We put so much energy into this. You're going to Cabo next week.
That's true. I'm looking forward to the time to just relax.
Yeah,
that's kind of. We still have not booked any excursions. I think we're gonna fuck around and end up just on the resort, not do anything. I want to get off the resort, but I don't know. We're both like a little laissez-faire with it right now. It's just like.
Yeah, I mean, you just came back from Hawaii, like 6 weeks ago?
2 months ago, yeah. It's just, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. It's creeping up on us very quickly. March is going to be lit, though. So many birthdays. Pops is turning 80 in March.
Oof.
My sister turns 51 in March.
Oof.
It's just,
good times.
Birthdays on birthdays.
Hell yeah. Aries season is around the corner. Y'all know.
Yeah.
Y'all know. But yeah, so we'll be on a break next week. While you're living up in Cabo. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
That's right.
What was that, March 8th?
Yeah, it is.
We'll have a lot to catch up on, I'm sure.
We definitely are. Do we have any more topics?
I mean, nothing like stands out. Oh yeah, Nipsey Hussle's killer was sentenced to 60 years. I saw the headline. My mom had sent me that. So that's some good news.
R.I.P. to Nipsey.
R.I.P. Nipsey. 60 years is crazy. Like, I don't even understand how you could sentence someone to 60 years, but hey.
I mean, I wish there was equality.
Also, shout out to Turkey and Syria. They got hit with another earthquake.
Yeah,
so prayers to them.
Definitely thoughts and prayers. It's really tragic. Their numbers for like death have just been skyrocketing.
Yeah, what is it, like 50,000 around?
Something crazy like that. It's tragic, man.
Yeah, so prayers to them. Always something going on in the world, man. It's crazy. We try to focus on more of the lighter stuff while we can. I know last year we had a mean streak of like school mass shootings before we took a break in the summer. It was bad. So
I mean, we started off this year kind of hot with the shootings too, but if it's not shootings, it's Chinese air balloons and earthquakes and Biden and multiple wives in a marriage. It's just a little bit of everything here at No Chill Live.
Hell yeah, we do everything. But yeah, I feel like the few topics we have left, we could probably just do another time. Like I don't.
Fine with me. Fine with me.
You got any last words, bro? Anything for this is our last Black History episode.
This is our last Black History episode. Everyone, continue to enjoy, celebrate your history. Learn if you're an ally, learn about the community, learn about history. As I mentioned the last time we were live, Black history does not start with slavery. I shared something on Instagram recently about a mom in DC who is actually like the head of diversity and inclusion for the CIA. And,
what? CIA has a head of diversity and inclusion for real?
That's what she said.
That's crazy.
That's what she said. She was at like the either the council meeting or something like that for Prince George County, and talking about how her daughter was learning essentially that like Black people even before slavery were slaves and servants. And she was really upset. She was like brought to tears talking to them and saying like, you know, it's one thing to omit our history. It's another thing to blatantly lie about our history. And both are, of course, disgusting and terrible and show the white supremacist agenda in America and around the world. But it's crazy out here. So educate your kids.
Yes. Education is key. It's like she's in the CIA saying that. She's surprised. Like the CIA, you know what? Never mind.
Exactly. We already talked about COVID. Now we got the CIA. What else can we? What other hot topics do we have?
Shout out to Black History Month and all of us Black people. We've done a lot. It's Black History every month.
That's right.
You know, like we making moves. We making history every day. So yeah, I think it is nice to highlight and celebrate Black, American excellence when we can, due to our history and how people have treated us. So yeah, it's good to be positive.
Exactly. So everyone enjoy. We've only got a few days left of this month. Celebrate. Ends on Tuesday, and then we're right into Women's History Month.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I love March is cool. I don't love March. I was gonna say I love March, but I really don't.
How do you not love March? That's when your birthday is.
I know, because it's like boring. It's like sometimes it snows. Like it's
the weather kind of plays a factor.
Yeah, a big factor. There's not like any real like holidays. I mean, today's Ash Wednesday.
That's right.
Shout out to all the Catholics.
Shout out to
and your
Catholics
dirty foreheads
and other Christians. If you're giving up something for Lent, shoot a message in the comments. Let us know what you're giving up for Lent.
Are you giving up anything for Lent, sir?
My mom asked me, and I still do not have an answer for that.
So you're a little late.
I think the answer is no. I'm gonna have to think about what I didn't do today that I can. I usually pick something random like that I don't like. I cheat.
Okay.
I'm like, I won't eat popcorn. I like popcorn, but I don't eat it because it gets stuck in my teeth. Like something.
Jesus knows that's bullshit, bro. FYI.
Jesus knows everything, but that's between me and him.
Word, you right. You right. Oh my God. Alrighty. Well, I think that's it for tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Episode 102. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, follow on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok,
all the apps. We're everywhere. We are everywhere.
Yeah. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Oh man. Yeah.